Okay, hi, my name is Kike Johnson. I am the founder of LizandCo, formerly called Liz's Closet. I got into the world of fashion officially in 2015, right after I finished school, and it's always something I loved. You know, my mom used to dress us up really nice and cute, myself and my sister when we were younger, so it's something that's always been in us, and I decided to take it up as a profession in 2015, and I'm here. How would I describe my brand in one sentence? Comfortable, very easy, chic, artistic, because I'm also an artist, so I put a little bit of art in everything that I do. I'd say very soft babe, a very calm, chilled vibe, someone who's outspoken but also very cool-headed. Soft life forever. The type of customer that shops for my brand, I'd say age-wise from 16 to 65. Very diverse brand, really, and there are women who are not shy to try new things. You know, we have customers that literally have all our designs, you know, and everything is, most of our designs are in blue. So they're not scared to have, you know, their wardrobe indigo colored, you know, and very, very interesting, creative women. Even women that I'd say they think out of the box, because sometimes when people come shop from us for the first time and they get to see our vibe, they really want to try something new. So, yeah. So like I said, I'm an artist, so I like to kind of not to deep things too much, you know, I just go with the flow. So sometimes I get an inspiration on the go and I'm going to execute it immediately. I could also see a fabric that I like. For example, the way we found out about the fabric we use called Funtua, at least most of our fabrics are Funtua. We had to go source them from Kano. You know, most of them are dyed in Kano as well. At the Kofamata Pit dye, which has been dye pit, which has been there for over 500 years. You know, so we're very, very big on heritage. In the north, they do indigo, and the south, they also do indigo. So it's a very major thing for us. So getting to find out about fabrics has also inspired the kind of designs that we bring out. You know, sometimes we try to experiment with new things, new designs. I could see literally anything and decide, you know, let's add this into a collection. And yeah, I don't have a straightforward process. I just go with the flow, go with the vibe. Where do I draw inspiration from? Life, friends, family, movies, literally anything. I go with the flow. Sometimes I might be down, sometimes I might be happy, and I still draw inspiration from whatever it is that's going on with me at that particular time. So I don't have a specific thing or specific person. I just go with the flow, really. That's the vibe for me, yeah. Hardest thing about being a creative director, trying to do everything that I think about. Because like I said, I get ideas all the time, but obviously I cannot execute everything that comes to mind, you know, at set time. So I think that's one of the hardest things, getting to decide with the team, you know, what do we do, what designs would work, how do we sample this, you know. It's interesting, but it's quite hard to do, you know, so I'd say that's probably the hardest thing to do. Okay, so I'm wearing the Iris set from LizandCo. There's nothing too deep about it. We had sampled the fabric, we sampled the dye. We used the splash marble method to dye, you know, this particular fabric, and we decided to I think at the time we had just one skirt in our collection, and we decided to have something else alongside. So we said, oh, let's do like another long skirt with like a crop top, but nothing too exposy, I would say, you know, because most of our women, I mean, like I said, we have women that are 60, 65 that would wear our outfits. So we wanted to have a balance between chic, easy, calm, relaxed, you know. So yeah, that's why we have this. The impact I want my brand to have locally is to allow for people to understand what, you know, our heritage carries, basically. You know, like I said, getting to find out about the fabrics, the dyeing method, you know, the practices that's been here for hundreds of years. You know, it's so interesting to see that we can actually have this process is here in Nigeria. We can produce fabrics, we can grow cotton, we can dye them locally, and also to empower local artisans, because if you think about the people who dyed these things in Kano, it has been passed on from generation to generation, and their sons will carry on the tradition, so it's very important for us to empower local artisans, to make them aware that these things are quite important to not just the economy, to society as a whole, and with that local impact, I think eventually taking it to an international level would be amazing, where we are exporting our fabrics, we're no longer importing things from China and stuff, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying we can, also grow our things here. I want LizandCo to be known all about the world within the next 2 to 5 years, for sure. I would like that we grow, expand production, employ more people, make sure that, people know our story, they understand why we're here and why we want to stay here for a very long time. I would also like that we can open flagship stores within Africa, in Ghana, in Lagos, Abuja, South Africa, and obviously outside Nigeria as well. So, yeah. I think that the world is getting to understand African fashion right now, because if you think about it, Nigeria's really puts it out there. We are doing amazing. People are traveling all the way down here for Fashion Week. They're getting to see how important, Africans are in the fashion industry, I think I'm very passionate about the fact that we can produce things here with our hands. We can think about it, we can make it come to life. Africa doesn't just import things. We're not just here to, I buy things from China, from Turkey, from Holland, yada yada. We can also produce things, we can export things. People can come all the way to buy leather, to buy cotton, to, really grow the African culture, the Nigerian culture. So I think that would be a really, really great way to start. I think that very soon, we're going to be all over the world. Like, people everywhere will be wearing African fashion. They're doing that right now, clock it. But I think that it would be even more interesting, because now everybody wants to wear Nigerian brands. Everybody wants to wear Ghanaian, South African brands, Imagine a situation where, I'm not saying don't wear Chanel, but just imagine a situation where we are side by side, these brands, people are getting to buy value, the value that we can give, I think we're very close. I think we're getting there. And I think that it is in the future for us. We're already there, funny enough, but very soon better. I think Majen is going to have a very big impact, because to understand the story, I've been able to see that what they're trying to do is basically what will push the African brand, the Nigerian brands out there. You want to have a solution to a problem. We have a major problem now. For example, LizandCo has one major problem: exporting things, sending things out of Nigeria. It's not like we can't do it, but we have the import duty fees, you have, shipping, timing, yada yada. So many things that would, reduce that flow, and Majen is there to break that barrier. So that is one major thing I'm really excited about, where you can easily shop African brands without coming to Africa, without the hassle of, when do I get my package? This is happening, that's happening, So they did a major thing, and I really can't wait to see how far Majen goes with this.